So this last week, we spent our time talking about the role of a dating partner. And in the recap video, I already laid out several principles that will help us in setting up good boundaries to be in a good dating relationship. But there's also the questions that can be asked that we talked about a little bit after that part of the discussion. I just want to hit on a few of those today and see where we are with some ideas around that. One of them was just simply, where do you find a dating partner in 2023? And it certainly can be a little bit difficult, a little bit challenging. Those who are godly are seemingly few and far between. Of course, Psalms already pointed out that it would be difficult to find a godly man, a godly person. And so, but some good ideas are certainly, of course, church and church settings. Um, Choosing a Christian college will give an opportunity to have Christian young people get together. You can find good Christians at a secular college, though it becomes a little bit more difficult just from sheer numbers sake. Things like Bible study, taking an opportunity to spend a summer at a camp working on staff. That's a good way. Friends of friends, look out for each other. If you know of someone and you think, man, you would be a great connection with so and so, speak it, share it. Of course, have to go to these places in order to find the people who are potential marriage partners. Um, but one of the things that really needs to be spent a lot of time discussing and going through is really the idea of how do you find out the real person that you're dating and see through the facade that a dating partner would maybe put on so that you're not surprised after saying, I do. And I think one of the things that we talked about really was the idea of certainly time. You obviously don't want to marry someone you just met. From that perspective, there certainly is time that needs to pass, and many things can be learned from that. Sharing life experiences in many different settings. Make sure that the time that you spend with an individual in a dating relationship is not all in one setting. See them as they're driving through traffic. See them as they're spending time with their family. See them as they spend time with your family. See them serving at church. See them interacting with different age groups, young people, children, people your own age, elderly individuals, because these are people, age groups that you will deal with all throughout your life. Get to know his or her parents, their best friends. Certainly, and one of the first things is pray. Ask your own friends. Sometimes we can be blinded, but asking our own friends, asking our own parents, what do you think of this person? They'll see through some things without the blinders of infatuation. Remember, it is your role to ask questions, to get to know the person at a deep level. Certainly, you won't be able to know every single thing there is possibly to know, but you should be able to get through to the real person by asking the right questions and spending the right kind of time. And know what the deal breakers are. My advice on deal breakers, I shared this in class. I think it's really crucial. My advice is if the person's unsaved, that's a deal breaker. Well, it's relatively simple. Should be able to be understood really, really quickly. Um, Someone who is not in regular attendance or service at a good local church, right? They're not serving, they're not regularly attending. You're not going to convince them to do that after you get married. Someone who is quick to anger or has a temper, that is never going to end well. Uh, Somebody, if in their early 20s they haven't learned how to control a temper, then you're going to have problems throughout your life. Someone who disparages his or her own family members, someone who talks about their family in a way that it just doesn't seem like it should be talked about. Family is crucial, especially throughout a marriage relationship. And if they're willing to talk about those closest to him or her as their own family, then they're willing to have that type of an attitude around your family as well. And then lastly, another one that just kind of I think fits a more common today than it used to be is someone who is entitled or who is unthankful. That is a very, very difficult position to be in a marriage relationship because it requires someone who's entitled will not pull their weight. They'll not be in that relationship in a give as much as possible to make the relationship work. So um, remember, it's easier and better to get out of a dating relationship than it is to get out of a marriage. And so we want to make sure we're finding the real person uh, and knowing what we're getting into. And when we do that, God can use that relationship, the husband and wife, to really bring significant honor and glory to Him.